Have you ever lost something you thought would be impossible to lose? If you have, you're not alone. Looks like the Earth herself has lost something pretty large, a whole second moon. A tiny object known as 2020 SO by astronomers entered Earth's orbit in September 2020, passing almost midway between our planet and the moon. Satellites like this one are called minimoons, are transitory. However, calling it a moon in this case is misleading because in December 2020, NASA researchers discovered that the object is actually the remains of a 1960s rocket booster used in the American Surveyor moon missions rather than a space rock. This non-moon minimoon, which made its closest approach to Earth on December 1st, is making one more triumphant round. On February 2nd, Minimoon 2020 SO will come to Earth for the last time at about 140,000 miles, or 58% of the distance between Earth and the Moon. By March 2021, the launcher will completely depart Earth's orbit after drifting away. The previous Minimoon will be just another body orbiting the Sun. On the evening of February 1st, the Virtual Telescope project in Rome will host an online farewell to the object. NASA discovered that the object has come relatively close to Earth on various occasions over the years, including in 1966, when the organization launched its Surveyor 2 moon probe atop a Centaur rocket launcher. That provided researchers with their first significant indication that 2020 SO was artificial, and they could confirm it by contrasting the object's chemical composition with that of another rocket booster that has been in orbit since 1971. How did 2020 SO come to being? Scientists announced back in 2020 that a small new moon was coming to Earth. The item was discovered by astronomers at the Catalina Sky Survey in Arizona back in February as a flash of light dashing through space. It wasn't orbiting the Earth at that time, but it was close by. In 2020, it was expected to temporarily enter Earth's orbit before departing to circle the Sun once again. This mystery blip was initially thought to be an asteroid. However, the Jet Propulsion Laboratory's 2020 SO2 object appeared to have been momentarily caught in the planet's gravity. This kind of mini-moon has been captured by Earth before, and astronomers have seen it a few times recently. It is a typical aspect of how our planet moves through space. However, some observers even then suspected that the mini-moon might not be entirely genuine. They believe that it was constructed in the 1960s. The problem is that the orbit of 2020 SO around the Sun is quite similar to that of Earth. These kinds of objects occasionally enter Earth's gravity and begin a brief orbit. Many naturally occurring asteroids exhibit this behavior, and even rocket components humans have sent into orbit have this behavior. Observers have determined that the last time 2020 SO orbited the Earth was in 1966 or 1967 by using computer simulations to extrapolate its movements at the time backward in time. That could imply that it was put into orbit in the first place in 1966 or 1967, or that 2020 SO2 spontaneously approached Earth at that time. But it can be difficult to tell the two possibilities apart. Sam Dean, a California-based amateur astronomer, first noted that no 1966 or 1967 launches matched the characteristics of the mysterious 2020 SO, indicating that the object was probably natural. Paul Chodas, director of NASA's Center for Near-Earth Object Studies, later informed CNN that it was probably a rocket from Surveyor 2, an unmanned NASA moon mission that launched on September 20th, 1966. He claimed that it most likely originated there because of how much the object's orbit resembles Earth. On the MPML, others concur. Tony Dunn, a different amateur astronomer, developed a simulation of the object's trajectory, bringing it twice very close to Earth in December and February. The theories of Earth's moons. According to some experts, Earth has 3 moons instead of only 1. However, according to a recent National Geographic article, Hungarian astronomers and physicists have now provided enough information to demonstrate that our moon has at least 2 more companions, made solely of dust. After the existence of the 2 extra moons was hotly contested for more than 50 years. According to their account in the monthly notices of the Royal Astronomical Society, the team was able to take pictures of the enigmatic clouds that were just around 250,000 miles away from Earth, or about the same distance as the Moon. The dust clouds were first observed in 1961 by their namesake, Polish astronomer Kazimierz Kordylewski, who had earlier suggested that Earth has several natural friends. Their presence was still questioned even then. Even though they are as close to Earth as the Moon, astronomers rarely pay attention to the Kordylewski clouds, according to study co-author Judith Szlizbalo, an astronomer at Hungary's Eötvös Loránd University. Confirming that our planet's dusty pseudosatellites are in orbit alongside our lunar neighbor is intriguing. The latest results show that each Kordylewski cloud has a width of around 15 by 10 degrees or 30 by 20 lunar disks in the night sky. This equates to a space region that is close to 9 times wider than Earth, measuring around 65,000 by 45,000 miles. Although the individual clouds particles are believed to be only a micrometer wide, the clouds themselves are massive. These particles emit a faint glow when sunlight reflects off them, like the pyramid-shaped zodiacal light produced by dust spread between planets' orbits. But because they are so faint, these satellite clouds have, up until now, remained buried in the obscurity of space. The Kordylewski clouds are exceedingly difficult to see against the galactic light, starlight, zodiacal light, and sky glow, according to study co-author and physicist Garber Horvath of Eötvös Loránd University. The researcher has now succeeded in revealing the dispersed light bouncing off the individual particles within the clouds using specialized polarizing filters on their cameras. Astronomers have speculated that Earth might have more than one moon for many years. The moons might be found at one of the 5 predetermined stable locations in the universe according to their calculations. The gravitational attraction of 2 orbiting objects, such as Earth and the Sun, is balanced out by the centripetal force of their objects at these orbits' sweet spots, or Lagrange points. In region, objects are held in reasonably stable locations and at fixed distances from the Moon and Earth. In order to discover solid body moons, Kordylewski first looked at the 2 of these sites, L4 and L5. He ultimately succeeded in giving us our first indications of dust storms around the Earth. Our solar system is a dusty realm, with comets, meteor showers, and the zodiacal band all present. Under clear, dark skies, observers with good eyes can discern clouds of particles scattered between the planets. However, unlike these other arid characteristics in deep space, the Kordylewski clouds are not as stable. Because the cloud's particles are always changing, they are both ancient and ever-changing. Lagrange's balancing act causes dust particles to become stuck in the clouds, but they are later able to escape thanks to tiny tugs from the Moon or the Earth. The clouds use various interplanetary sources, including yearly occurrences, like the Perseid meteor shower, to renew their dust supply. So even if the particles themselves might not last long in terms of astronomical time, it's possible that clouds have existed since the Earth-Moon system's formation. These hazardous particles, which resemble cosmic tumbleweeds, could prove to be very important for upcoming space travel. For instance, several missions in space require parking satellites at the Lagrange points, where they need the least amount of fuel to maintain their orbit. That also applies to the forthcoming James Webb Space Telescope, which will launch at the Lagrange point L2 in the 2020s. According to Horvath, plans have also been developed by space organizations to use Lagrange points as transfer stations on an alleged interplanetary superhighway for flights to Mars. He continues, "From the perspective of space navigation safely, the examination of the dynamics of Kordylewski clouds may very well wind up being more significant. And if Horvath and Sell's theories Balgo's are correct, there might be more of these wandering dust clouds trailing Earth in the nearby Lagrange points just waiting to be found. Dust balls or real moons? What do you think? With the moon officially being defined as a large round object that circles the Earth and that shines at night by reflecting light from the sun, is it right to call other bodies a moon? Let us know what you think in the comments below.